Today we're going to do a titration, and this thing up at the top that I have here is called a burette, and I have some calcium hydroxide in there that we're trying to figure out what the concentration of that calcium hydroxide is. And over here I've measured out 25 milliliters of 1 molar HCl. So we're going to take that HCl and pour it into the flask. And then we're going to add a drop of phenolphthalein. So hopefully you remember phenolphthalein is an indicator and it changes color. Again, you can find this on table M of your reference table, but it changes to pink between 8 and 9. Now our goal is to add just enough base to completely neutralize the acid, which means I want to stop when it's at 7. Unfortunately, this indicator is not going to tell me when it's at 7 because at 7 it's still colorless. So we want to get it to the faintest possible pink that we can, which will tell us we're just crossing over that 8 threshold, and then that'll be kind of the best that we can do here. So again, I put in 25 milliliters of 1 molar hydrochloric acid into the flask, and I have an unknown concentration of calcium hydroxide in this burette up here. Now, the numbers on this burette are a little hard to see. I know, I'm sorry about that. Let's see, does it help if I put my hand back there? All right, so we can see 0 is at the top. Larger numbers are actually closer to the bottom on a burette. So this is the 0 mark, this is the 1 mark, which means right now we're at 1.3 milliliters. And that just tells me that 1.3 milliliters has already been let out of the maximum capacity of this. So we're going to let out more. It's going to get to a higher number. We're going to subtract those two to find out how much has actually been put into the flask. So right now we're at, again, 1.3. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I am going to take this and I am going to add some base to it. You'll see that the base turns it pink pretty quickly, but as I allow it time to react and swirl it around a little bit, it has a chance to neutralize and goes back to clear. So I do want to add this pretty slowly so that I don't overshoot the end point too much. As we get closer and closer to that point where it's going to change color, it's going to take longer for this pink color to go. All right, so we can see that now the pink color is staying, so it's not just that there hasn't been enough time for it to react. So we're going to come back up to the burette and take a reading. So again, I know you can't really read this all that well, but that number here is 10, down here is 11. So we're at about, let's see, we're at 10.6. So we started off at 1.3, we're down to 10.6. So you're going to do 10.6 minus the 1.3 to find out how much base we added to the acid for the neutralization to occur.